Hello, and welcome to Twitterverses. So, Muda of Some Ordinary Gamers has gotten himself into some controversy. In a new video dropped by Nicandros, he claims that Muda has been lying about being an engineer for over 10 years. Nicandros presents multiple clips of Muda claiming many titles, such as engineer, software engineer, video engineer, computer engineer, etc., etc. Nicandros even provides a timeline of his online career in the video, which includes podcast appearances, live streams, and YouTube videos he's uploaded. Needless to say, the timeline doesn't help Muda's claims. Mudahar's official response was to ban the word engineer and any spelling of it from his comment sections. He even got a call from his good pal Keemstar live on stream. And Twitter has a lot to say. Nicandros tweets, new video. Mudahar has been calling himself an engineer for the past 10 years? Is he one? Link below. Chip asks, he called himself an engineer? Like, I haven't watched anything he's made in years, but I don't ever recall him saying he's an engineer. Nicandros replies, in June was the latest. James says, loved his videos on dark websites back in the day, then he started talking about his opinions. And I could smell the shit through the screen ever since I've been avoiding his content. Taylor says, literally everyone in cybersecurity is a fraud. Like, holy shit, this theory is proven right over and over and over. Leo says, Indian turns out to be a scammer? Quale surprise. Nicandros says, as funny as you guys think you're being, I'd really prefer if you didn't go and leave engineer-related puns in Mudahar's comments. Makes it look like a harassment campaign, with a screenshot of a comment saying, I was waiting for an engineer's opinion on fuel refining. Brandon replies, half of your videos are about the guy in a negative light. I think you're doing the harassment part on your own. At least be a man about it, regardless of the validity of your content. Nicandros replies, those videos aren't making any direct contact with him. I just publish media about someone. He can ignore it or not. People going to him and stuff isn't so simple. Kay says, as a social engineer, he really should have come up with a better cover story. Nicandros replies, I mean, if he was a programming guy, he would have likely realized that what I did would be possible. Billy Mitchell says, Mudahar will be sued. Nicandros tweets out, apparently Mudahar's wife implied on Twitter that my video light doxed Muda as opposed to dark doxing him. Because I showed how easily the GameStop he said was located X from his house, stupid was to locate due to Mutahar's sloppy OpSec. Cybersecurity engineer, by the way. I think it's important to tell people that they shouldn't make it a habit to randomly state how far away certain places are from where they live, because as I said, you can get triangulated. Mudahar posing as an expert and doing it means that creators who trust his false credentials might emulate him, not realizing how much they've placed themselves in danger. This is why it's important to make sure people don't present themselves with false credentials. Mudahar recently made a video showing off the outside of his house. This is incredibly stupid because it gives hints as to where he is and what's behind it. It enables any dox attempt to be disproven as failed dox by checking if you can see the city of solitude behind his house. None of this matters, of course, because Mudahar has stated that his personal address is on multiple websites on the dark web. He doesn't care, and he doesn't mind if someone has his phone number or address. Based on his actions, I believe him. And he plays this clip.
I don't fear the farms, just because I'm not fucking DMing minors and have like weird ass tweets. So I don't have to worry about like an archive link being the downfall of my career. If my personal address exists on the farm, dude, my personal address, like when I did dark web browsing, there are fucking at least 3 websites on the dark web, like dedicated websites to my fucking personal information. I don't give a fuck about that. Like, who gives a shit if somebody has my address or my phone number? Cool.
Note, I do not condone posting or sharing personal information under any circumstances. The only reason there is to collate or publish someone's personal information is intimidation. If you need that information because someone is in danger, you give it to the authorities, not Twitter. Demonic Abyss replies, I think you brought up a valid point. His brand revolves around him being a cybersecurity expert, and he is displaying to his audience poor OpSec. Optically though, it is the easiest, most manipulative angle for people in Mudahar's camp to spin and paint you as some obsessed Reddit stalker. I wouldn't have included it in the video personally, or if you do, make it painstakingly clear that it is to criticize his poor displays of cybersecurity so it can't be used against you. Flop News Network tweets, so allegedly Mudahar of Some Ordinary Gamers has been lying about his IT knowledge / skills and work history for the past 10 years. The Sonichu medallion never fails to claim a victim. Tyler says, this thumbnail is frying me, with a picture of Gamma's thumbnail that reads, liar, fraud, and in big red bold letters, Indian. Hersells replies, why does it matter? He's a YouTuber. Manager Jojo says, bro, I've literally listened to this man explain how to set up Windows in a Hyper-Vision under Linux with a 2 graphics card system to play video games without committing to Windows. Which part of his IT knowledge is he lying about? Ruben replies, he's lying about being an engineer. That's simple. He's always called himself a computer engineer when he never finished his degree and dropped out. That's pretty much all he lied about. Jojo replies, if that turns out to be it, then that's pretty gay to make drama over. Tech is like the #1 field you don't need anything from a college to be successful in. Ruben says, agree. I don't get it honestly. He seems to know more than a lot of people, so I don't get all this drama. Slay Sinatra says, how it felt being a day 1 hater of Mudahar, even though everyone said I was wrong. Nick Diorio post, I got banned from Mudahar's subreddit because I didn't support a delusional poster claiming that hate was an alt-right racist hate train. Shroom says, saw that video about how Mudahar has been falsely claiming he's an engineer for like 10 years and my mind is blown. I stopped watching him ages ago, but how could I not notice? Did he really think installing Linux makes you an engineer? Crusader replies the Indian equivalent of I worked at Blizzard. Shroom replies, hey, at least Thor actually has a degree and did actually work at Blizzard. Muda just seems to be a guy who dropped out of CS, not an engineering degree by the way, and now flips property and crypto. Nick quote tweets Shroom and says, he's gonna respond to this, right, LMFAO? If he's an engineer, this would be almost effortless to disprove, and it's gotten too big to pretend he hasn't seen it. I've seen people say Mudahar doesn't owe you anything, which is obviously a total cope response, but they're also completely missing the point. This video got absurdly spammed to me on Discord, YouTube, and Twitter just to even react on stream when it had under 10k views. Now that's popped off, Mudahar is probably getting fucking flooded. The funniest part is Muda's freak fans calling Nick Andros a stalker or harmful opinions like racist. Let's say, for the sake of the discussion, that those statements are true. How would that impact their evidence of public Facebook posts and contradictory clips? It's the Keffel's video kiwi farmer thumbnail controversy all over again. At Ordinary Gamers, happy to clear this up on stream if there is some kind of misinfo being spread about you. Any insight would be great. Nick Andros tweets again saying, Keemstar calls Mudahar on stream. Mudahar claims to be, quote, in the middle of something. Could it be engineering, scratching his balls 9 to 5? And he plays this clip.
Hey, we're on stream, just so you know. I basically want to know, what is this drama about you lied about being an engineer and stuff?
You can't just call me like off stream. I don't understand in the middle of something.
Okay, here.
I could call you off stream. I just thought maybe like, if it's...
Hold on. I gotta take care of some stuff, so I didn't know I was on stream.
So you want me to call you off stream?
Yeah, later. I'm just in the middle of something.
Alright, sounds good.
Shamu tweets out, Mudahar won't respond to the video, but his wife will throw out accusations of people trying to dox their family, right? Yeet tweets, Nicholas Diorio calls out Mudahar for not responding to the Nick Andros video claim about him not being an engineer. Invites Muda on stream to share his side of the story. I've seen people say Mudahar doesn't owe you anything, which is obviously a total cope response. Nick responds, I mean, he's welcome to come on my stream, but I'm more or less just looking for some kind of statement at all. Anywhere he wants to put it. Mudahar seems like a tall tales kind of guy who just lies a lot, so it's pretty easy for people to believe. Any additional details would help. Night Kitten says, this is one of those situations where Mudahar could completely mog everyone by just coming out and saying, yeah, I use it colloquially, but to be clear, I'm not an engineer by a licensed profession. We'll be more clear about that in the future. He ain't gonna do that though, is he? B. Jones replies, that dork is trying too hard to stay relevant, trying to get clout off Muda. A no-name says, the only thing owed to Oreo is coronary artery disease. Muda running from not being an engineer is fucking hilarious though. Eddie says, I mean, Muda literally doesn't owe him anything. Why would anyone go on a hater's stream to defend something? It has never worked for anyone ever, once ever. Despairing says, holy fuck, I get people hate Nicholas, but the replies are really dick riding. Muda said he is an engineer, so people are going to take his word on things, but if it turns out he's actually isn't, it would ruin his credibility. He waves being an engineer around like a fucking profession. Half of the replies are retarded not to realize the issue. He tweets out, Billy Mitchell asks the question, why does anybody care if Mudahar is an engineer? Urso replies, we shouldn't, but if he uses this to validate an argument, it's another thing. Cringe NPC replies, engineer isn't anything. I could put together a Lego set and call myself an engineer. When you have to be certified, you can trust it. If it's an unregulated title, it's anyone for any reason. Mike tweets out, just my 2 cents, but that would definitely be a more acute lie to claim license. Still, it's dishonest to call yourself an engineer if you aren't degreed or doing it by trade though. Regardless, I don't think it's that big of a deal since it doesn't matter much for what he talks about. Nianis says, Billy, this is hard for you to understand as a prior liar yourself, but people tend to dislike it when others lie. It makes them wonder what else is a lie, and what makes the liar look weak. There is no reason to lie over something like this. Braden says he often sold himself on his credential and used it as an appeal to authority. So him lying about this is a major blow to his credibility due to how he sold himself. I've not watched him for a long time, so I don't really give a shit, but that's why people care. Thanks for watching. Make sure to like, subscribe, and tell me what you think in the comments, and I'll see you on the next Twitter Versus. Goodbye.